Maruti has just launched its Future S concept over here, which is the new design direction for the company. And with me is Kenichi Ayukawa, the Managing Director of Maruti Suzuki Ltd. Thanks for talking to us. New car over here, also a new design language. Clearly it's very SUVs. Do you think SUVs is going to be a big focus area for Maruti now?
I think so. The Indian customer is quickly changing and that also demanding. We have to take care of those kind of expectations, that requirement. That this is a new approach we have provided to the new customer. Is it okay or more exciting, or we have to improve some point? We would directly expecting some feedback from them. And then we try to implement the practical production model through that response.
So, with this car is looking at the kind of Alto Plus or Wagonar Celerio segment. Could we see you expanding it to cars even beyond, above the Vitara Brezza? I mean, what is the strategy on having SUVs right now?
We provided this car concept that in a sense about the small segment, Alto, Wagonar level or something like that. We provided a small car segment, this kind of new approach. Little bit, height a little bit higher, and then ground clearance a little bit higher. Also looks like SUV. If we can, ideally, we provided, those kind of concept vehicle to market in future.
And do you think you moved away from the crossover segment, because very frankly, the S-Cross hasn't really been a big success, and even the Ignis, you've got numbers, but you wanted more. Do you think the Indian market is not ready for crossovers, and that's one of the reasons you're focusing more on a traditional SUV with a upright stance, high bonnet, all that?
I think that in case about crossover, it is not easy understanding to the customer. We have to more closely approach, which is pointed at different from other type of model. Those kind of communication could be more necessary. That's why we try to approach the customer more and more to recognize the good point about those kind of segment vehicle.
So you think an SUV is a safer segment than a crossover right now?
No, because a lot of people expecting various SUV. That's why if we can provide some small segment SUV, that could be very exciting for the customer.
And don't you think this will cannibalize some of your existing products? You've got the Wagonar, you've got Celerio, you've got even the Alto. Don't you think this would cannibalize it? How would it be positioned?
I don't think so. That we can develop a new area through new concept vehicle, new B-type vehicle. We are expecting furthermore expanding our customer.
So to talk very frankly, is this your response to the Renault Kwid in some ways?
I don't think so. We tried to propose and accumulated our knowledge at marketing research, etc. That's why we provided this kind of concept vehicle.
And Ayukawa-san, moving to new technologies, obviously there's electric vehicles. Everyone is talking about that. You said you're going to, in 2020, you're going to, have one on the road. But what are the challenges? Is cost still going to be a major issue for you?
That's true. In case of electric vehicle, we have a lot of concern point. We have to one by one fix by launching the vehicle. That is true. And everybody, not only us, but also every concerned people, including government, industry, component industry, we have to collaborate all and then to find a good solution in order to develop the electric vehicle in the market.
And you had also mentioned that you see hybrids as a good solution to meeting the new CAFE norms. Is that something you're going to be working on quite effectively as well? And we'll start seeing hybrids coming out from 2020
Yeah,
as well.
of course, the direction itself we are not changing, because we still understand that the hybrid technology is very important of the Indian market in order to developing, improving the fuel efficiency and environment friendly. We are still preparing a new model for hybrid.
And Ayukawa-san, one area which has been a big concern is diesel. Obviously, I want to get, what is Maruti's strategy for diesel powertrain? Now, I know you're moving out of Fiat after 2020, you're doing your own diesel engine. Are you going ahead with it, or will it be limited volume for some higher end SUVs? I think that diesel must be a struggle right now.
As you mentioned, that correct. Indian market that facing a difficulty in the diesel. Also, looking at the global market, some countries are facing a difficulty. But also, there are some possibility that some other market will be developing the diesel vehicle. That's why we want to keep some volume of production in diesel in India, and then providing that diesel model to those countries.
So what you're saying is India could be a export hub for your diesel engines in the future.
Of course, we want to planning those kind of way.
Right. So what is the strategy on your own diesel development? Because I remember Suzuki-san himself had said there was a 1.5 diesel which you were developing. Where are we on that, and what model could we see that in? Could we see that in a bigger SUV?
Because in case of diesel, having a good torque and fuel efficiency. One of the options is that installing that SUV type vehicle, those kind of engine.
Right. And what was the reason for you moving away from Fiat and making your own diesel engine?
As far as we producing the vehicle, we want to develop our own powertrain. That's why we developed more than 5 years starting this kind of project.
Right. But you still face a challenge with the Euro's Bharat Stage 6, all the technology. Is that becoming a big challenge in terms of cost, or even just the technology is difficult?
I think the cost-wise it's Euro 6, the VVS 6 level emission is challenging. But technology-wise, I don't think so serious problem. We can easily to meet the regulation, but point is the cost is that becomes higher. That's why how we're going to manage the diesel business for future. That is our challenge, right?
And Ayukawa-san, just talking about some of the segments you are not present in. You only have one SUV right now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you've shown your intent for this. In the luxury segment, also, you're not very present. Mm-hmm. Can we see Maruti trying to go more upmarket? You've been successful with Nexa, but some of your products, S-Cross and all, have not given you big volume. So what's the strategy in terms of going above the 10 lakh mark where you're not so strong?
I think that, of course, we have to have some area to be developed furthermore. And you said that the S-Cross, we just last year that we minor change the S-Cross. The customer feedback becomes better. Of course, we have to develop it furthermore, this type of the vehicle. We are considering it how we're going to approach next generation vehicle for that area.
And that would be a more traditional SUV from what I understand, because that S-Cross styling has not worked. Would that be fair to assume?
But still, we are getting some order from customer. We try to enhancing that kind of portion gradually, and of course, we improving our relationship with the communication with the customer, those type vehicle. That is very important for future.
Ayukawa-san, how will this new technology impact your profitability? Because there's a lot of investment. Diesel engines are going to get expensive. Hybrids are going to get expensive. Do you think manufacturers can pass on all the costs to the customer, or they will have to have some adjustment on the margins? Because it's going to become very, very expensive beyond 2020 and beyond. So is profitability going to be a concern, not just for Maruti, but is it going to be an industry issue?
Yeah. Your suggestion is correct. I think we have to consider again how much customer accepted, how much prices basis for them. Considering those kind of point, we have to making effort to reducing the cost, and also some part of that we have to reducing our profit for a while. But every year, making effort to reducing the cost, we believe that we can absorb those kind of cost increasing.
So what you're saying is you can't pass on everything, but you will compensate by trying to reduce costs further. That's the strategy. And 2018, you've got the Swift coming. That's really going to be a big hit for you. How is 2018 looking for you? Do you think you've got a nice, clear runway now for further growth, because you've had fantastic growth in 2017?
I think comparing 2017 to 2018, only just looking at January, market response becomes better comparing to 2017. But I have a little bit concerned, listen to the economic movement of the world, because share price going down. I have a little bit concerned the global economy becomes better or not. As far as I look at the Indian inside, I think that the budget is that to supporting the rural area, also in lower income people. That could be better to encourage purchasing demand. That could be better, and I believe that 2018 the Indian market better than 2017.
On that note, thank you very much,
Thank you
and
very
I'm
much.
sure Maruti, which has reached stellar heights in 2017, is set for breaking even more records in 2018. Thank you, Ayukawa.
Thank you very much.